Hey, everybody, welcome to the podcast. I'm Jason.
Okay.
This is Walking Dead episode 65. It's been a while. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It has been a while.
So first off, I just want to announce, you might have already heard there's this big event coming up in San Diego. It's San Diego on July 12th to 14th. It's called Walking Dead Escape Live the Apocalypse. And they're taking over Petco Park, which that name doesn't sound very impressive to me. It sounds like a little park, like a park.
It does, but it is where, yeah, San Diego Padres play.
Yeah,
It's a new
it's a
ballpark.
big convention, but it's a big park.
It's a big ballpark. Actually, I hear the ballparks are really nice.
And they are setting up this like multi-level obstacle course, and you go and try to get away from the zombies and make it to the decontamination and evacuation zone.
Right.
Zombie food, and or you can be a zombie there,
Right.
or I guess you can just right there if you want.
Yeah.
So it looks totally amazing, and the great part is that me and Karen are going to be there.
The greatest part was that it's affiliated with Walking Dead.
That's pretty cool too. Yeah. So I guess I think I don't know if Heroes gonna be there, but I think so. And I think is people are gonna be making up the people who decide the zombies. And I want to run some zombies, right? Don't you?
Yeah, I do. I already thought the strategy.
What are you gonna do? Brass knuckles?
No, because the brass knuckles are actually very effective on zombies. And you can't bring weapons, those are the rules.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna do
I'm going to do and it doesn't unlock. Okay. And I'm training for it. I've got that iPhone app now called Zombies Run. And I was listening to it today, and tomorrow I'm starting my first Zombies Run training. You gotta train for this thing. So
Yeah,
I gotta
totally.
take it.
They say it's not a race, but you need to go at least jog.
Yeah, and they said the reason why people get,
Yeah, so I'm really happy it's not a race. Before it was just a 5K, I was gonna probably do that and ask how it was.
Yeah, right.
But
They actually think very tight.
yeah,
They say
it's scary if you're hiding in the corner and all of a sudden
and do you think that if you are good in black, it would give you an advantage?
well, Petco Park is white, so you'll probably stand out. I'm just, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, if there's dark places and stuff. That's a good
I think it might
idea.
be.
You should go in blackface.
They're setting concourse up. So it's not even on the field. It's like the different levels of concourse. And from what I can tell, it looks awesome.
One time for Halloween, back when they were doing those iPod silhouette ads, showing silhouettes, dancing on the
Yeah.
I went as one of those, and I just saw them back and I painted my exposed part black my face and everything. Only the paint kind of faded a little bit, so
Oh, no.
I was in blackface. I was walking away as people were staring at me. I held the iPod. Look, I'm trying to do
I'm glad. Oh, my God.
Anyway, let me read a little bit about this. It says the evacuation route features multiple obstacles such as cargo nets and road bridges. Sounds like fun.
It does.
No one will be disqualified if you're unable to complete certain obstacles, but they may heighten the risk of infection. So you will be disqualified, you might die.
So I think training on a rope bridge would be fair.
We should go there.
Yes.
You have to meet it almost playground. You know that?
No.
Besides, they know what else without kids.
Can I borrow
We can go together. We can go. Average time completion 35 minutes. It's not a race, no timed, but it's slow usually for a reason. Be prepared to climb, crawl, and slide. Depending on the kind of walker you need, you first be like a dog. I recommend it in front of the waterboard. You see what's in here. So it sounds really cool.
It really does. It sounds great. Okay.
So I'm hoping that you guys listening, a bunch of you will come to this. It's a great opportunity to do a really cool thing, and it's right at St. Comic-Con. So you go to Comic-Con and I'm sure some actors from over there and working and everything.
It's July 12th and 14th.
It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so whatever those days are.
And we're going to do Saturday one?
We're going to sign for Saturday at 11:40 if you want to do the course at the same exact same time as us, or if you want to be a zombie and try
Yep.
at that time.
But you'll fail because our mad zombie evasion skills.
Generally going neon.
The arrow waving.
That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. The zombies suck.
And we're going to set up a time probably that afternoon. What do you say? 2:30
Yeah,
to meet in a bar or restaurant nearby.
There's some good ones right outside the
Yeah. So if you guys want to come do that and meet up with us, we haven't figured out details yet, but we'll answer the next podcast.
You'll see it on our website and on Facebook.
Yeah. Good.
Hundreds.
Okay. This episode we talked about Dead. We talked about the German zombie flick Rambach. When did you watch that?
I watched it last weekend when I was getting bronchitis.
I watched this morning. Are you on there now?
Yeah, it took me a second to hear coughing in there.
It got top 5 items we steal from the set of Walking Dead.
With their blessing. You can hear the systems wrong.
Listen to Guns and News with them. Okay. News about Walking Dead. First thing, the Nerds Right Now podcast interviewed showrunner Glenn Zara and writer Shane King and Scott People. Did you know?
No, it's on my iPod.
It's really good. It's all Walking Dead, and I loved it. And I would recommend listening to it if you're just kind of
It's like on Plus.
Yeah, it's all.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's the already done 2 more episodes since then, but so it's my 2 weeks ago. We had Nerdist Writers podcast.
Which is really a great podcast you should listen to anyway. And I listened to recently Vince Gilligan and
The Breaking Bad showrunner.
The Breaking Bad showrunner and from Lost David Lindelof. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. But I just want to play one excerpt from that. It's kind of exciting. So here we go.
Did you guys anything for season 3? A little something to look forward to? When did you look forward to 16 episodes? Are there extra episodes rolling for you guys, or is it yeah, it's yeah, I will say that, whatever people about the first half of season 2, whether or not someone can filler or not, I don't think any of the back half of season 2, there's no filler in this. I mean, this is, people don't have to, from the first frame, people don't have to pay attention. They got to keep up. I bet you, I'm going to make this. People say, the show's moving too fast. People say now, the show's moving fast, you can't keep up. I bet you fucking that.
I kind of agree. It's jam-packed. I love it. It's jam-packed. I think like if there are people who like love pacing up other AMC shows, they're just going to spend 10 minutes and
Some scripts like, when you go on a trip, you turn pick 1 2 days. You're not afraid to touch it, or it's road, and that's, yeah. Wow.
Do you believe that?
just like the season was chock full of zombies.
Yeah, it was stuff like that. I mean, it did get more intense in the second half for sure. But
Did it more
no,
like
no, last episode.
Yes, the last episode especially.
Yeah.
But great. If that's what they're shooting for, hallelujah.
Okay, let's move on. So, Kurt Haney, on NCTV.com, he's about questions asked. What women constructing the prison? He said they're taking a lot of what we've seen in comic books series about his life, and he's anything possible. This is going to be one of the most impressive things that's ever been put together for a show. That's what I heard.
Yeah, it really is.
Can you tell us anything about the sword Michonne is using? She's using a sword that we especially designed for the show. The origin of the sword will be revealed on the show. Recently, I think we published a picture of Michonne with her sword there.
I think it's Valerian Steel.
What was that?
You do? What you do? Yeah, it's in Game of Thrones.
I don't know.
That's a badass sword.
Yeah, dude, I didn't want to see anything
No,
about that.
especially how she looks
I
now.
know.
She's not ready to remove your body from your head.
He says, or they say, the season's got so many exciting storylines. He says, when you think about the comic series, you think about, and then he goes on to talk about a few storylines in the series I want to talk about in his story. And he goes, and that's really a lot of stuff that people remember the story for, and that's stuff we haven't even gotten to in the TV show yet. I'm really good. So as much as people love the show and its highs, ratings are, and as cool as the show is, I feel like I haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. The season's absolutely unbelievable. I agree with that. Like, when I read the comic, read up to the current issues and 97, and the stuff that's coming up is really where it starts to stay in my mind.
Really? That's interesting. By the way, people go to Walking Dead Escape at Comic-Con, they get issue number 100.
100, well, yeah. By the way, that's $70 for space.
Yeah, so, yeah, the issue number 100, kind of amazing.
Yeah, that's a big one. I remember that was right now. In interview, Comic Resources Curtain said that this issue 100 is going to easily be the most gruesome, most violent disturbing issue of Walking Dead yet. When I say that, I remember all the gruesome, disturbing, violent things that happened in Walking Dead. So far, I'm saying it's been very gruesome so far. Like, way more gruesome than anything we've seen on the show.
Wow, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know
When you say gruesome, I'm not sure what you're talking about. So
it's like, but when I issue a comic, when I finish, I'm like, I think that went too far there.
Really?
Totally.
Whoa.
So I don't know. Yeah, they won't talk about it, and he said they won't show it exactly, but they will, find a way to include that without being too graphic about it. I guess. But because of what you said, I think that one of the main characters who's still left in the comic is going to die. One or more of them. It's very sad. I don't know if people know who's left on anyone.
No,
There are some people who are on the show now who are still alive. Yeah, but I think one or more of those are going to be gone.
Says you.
Well, I have to be even more disturbing, violent, gruesome than everything. We're not dealing with that.
Michael Kittens.
That's true. That would be
That would be
bad. Let's see. Change Packs over here, the Telltale Walking Dead video game. They announced it has sold over 1 million copies. That makes it the Telltale's fastest selling game to date.
It's great.
I just showed Karen that little piece of it.
It's so fun. It was so fun. It's really fun to play. It's fun for the person knows the story. Yeah, it's fast paced. It's interesting. I'm surprised right now. Really like it.
This would be a game actually play with somebody else because sometimes you get stuck and you're not sure what to do next, and you can help each other out with it.
Who would be?
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm really happy that
I'm really happy. How does that compare to other video games?
I don't really keep track of video game sales. But these days there are 2 kinds of games. There's blockbuster games that cost $16 million in a few years,
Right.
and then there's iPhone games that are quick and they cost about whatever.
Right.
But this game is one of the few games that are still kind of in the middle of that.
Right.
And I'm not sure what those games are very rare these days, but I think I may come back. I'm not sure. Anyway,
Pretty fun.
let's do
Pretty
it. Okay, there's an interview with art director Doug Flick, I think on NCT.com. They asked what you set for Walking Dead season 1 and 2. How's season 3 compared? So season 1 was pretty chaotic and we were working on a really large scale. Last year we were really just on farm and 4, so we weren't really a lot. And this year's been huge, basically. It's a different show altogether. Right? This year's been the most challenging so far.
No, it makes sense. I mean, that facility looks massive, and if that's where they're going. There's a lot of steps that need to be
Yeah, you can talk about prison.
Yeah,
And they're building that in a studio, you know, kind of like
Interesting.
prison or anything.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's really they asked how important is trying to enhance the scare factor of the sets. He says that was sort of priority. So we magnified the decrepitude of things. Psychologically, it makes more sense since there's zombie apocalypse. We kind of fast forward decay is what it amounts to. We've also created sort of connective spaces like a hallway and a boiler room in particular. Probably a set in some ways are scary and they have a lot of stuff and then a lot of corners to be around. There's always camera angles and lighting really eccentric. That's serious.
Oh my god, you know what? Yeah, he's not kidding. You know, I was
Different days.
different days. Recently, I was actually in the basement of the hospital for my job, and in the boiler room of the hospital, and it's just as loud and hot and filled with crazy old decrepit machinery as it is. It is incredible. We were like sort of walking over things and trying to avoid other things, and just kind of gross and
Is it like humid?
yeah.
Like there was a boiler room in Shining. Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's a great one. And then I think Freddy Krueger, the boiler room scenes in that, so it's like a scary place. Oh, you're going to be about that. No.
Well, yours.
Yeah, that's okay. Interview with so this last item is just a little spoilery. It talks about a new character. So if you want to hear that, just move on to Rambock now. But interview with Hollywood reporter Lindsay into that Tyrese might show up in the prison storyline.
Oh,
Right?
yes, finally.
Yeah, totally. He'll review.
Yes,
That's
yes.
true.
Tyrese. How in the world are you still on?
I'm gonna give you one of the prisoners.
Yeah.
Inside or something.
Maybe.
I think we move on to Rambock, which means battering ram kind of.
I was wondering what that means. They do use a Rambach.
Yeah.
That's what it means. They use it.
Let's do like when we talk about Uncle, just give general thoughts in case you haven't seen it, and then we'll move on to more detailed spoiler stuff for those who watch it.
Okay.
So general.
In general, for those who haven't seen it, it's a nice movie. It's only an hour long. It's not the greatest zombie movie ever, but it's got its charms. I kind of like the character development, smart characters, and the apartment complex where it takes place is really interesting as a set because it reminds me of Rear Window.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I think
Like,
there's
it's got me with James
a courtyard, and then you can see all the other apartments through the back windows. And
Wait, no details. I mean, yeah, I just want to say whether we recommend it or not.
I would say it rates on my brains near 95.
Yeah.
I would give it a solid 3.
And would you like it better or not as well as Funny People?
I like Funny People better. Funny People better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I do. I would totally recommend this. And I thought it was not only a solid zombie movie, and I felt affected by the way I like to know the reason why I love zombie movies. I hit those notes, but it had some really interesting, unique things I've never seen before that worked really well. I thought, and it's not like blowing your mind, but it's good. I thought it was really good. Especially, yeah, just and it has this kind of indie feel to it that was kind of cool. So definitely, I can like without reservation recommend this to Walking Dead fans.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay, now we know the details. So if you haven't seen it, don't listen to this part.
Yeah, let me spoil the word.
Yeah.
Some people do
Yeah,
it.
some people do. Oh, you should be watching the
Yeah, well. So one of the things I thought was interesting is they have fast zombies.
It was a lot like Teenage Later, because they're kind of infected by virus.
Right.
And that to me, I liked it. Like the zombies' white eyes, and red faces. They're very effective. But the fact that it didn't remind me so much 28 Days Later made me immediately start comparing it to that.
Yeah.
And 28 Days Later is just a phenomenal movie.
Yes, I agree.
So it's hard to live up to that.
Yeah, it's not 20 days later by much.
But then 28 Days Later, I was really even. This was totally even.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, only an hour long. It's a pretty short movie. And you watch it in German or did you watch it
German.
dub? Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like that.
Me
And I think subtitles just I don't need a real emotion.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I'm trying to think of is
Yeah, it's not right. Yeah. What do you think of Michael, the main character?
Oh, I need to go back. I think they pronounce his name Michelle.
Michelle?
Something. Let's just call him Michael.
Michael,
Okay. Well, that's a good question. That hits kind of the dark place with me because he's kind of the milk toast guy. You know, too nice for his own good. And he, pining over this woman who doesn't really deserve affection. And I've been there.
Yeah.
And I don't, I think I know that. And so when I see guys like that, it's like, oh, don't do that. Too bad. Idiots.
Yeah.
But as the movie went on, he still, I went to a few things that I like him more because he just seems, I don't know, vulnerable and cool and like a good person.
Right.
So
But he got his
yeah, that was worse. When I decided, okay, I said that.
Right. It's not
Yeah,
hard.
come on. That was almost too much.
But I liked when I liked his relationship with Harper.
Yeah, and I like Harper too.
Yeah, me
He's
too.
a kid.
And also resourceful with the flashing camera.
Oh, that was kind of unique too. And we say like Michael, although I didn't always love his character, I thought it was a very well drawn character and it was good. And
Yes.
I wouldn't want to be in a way to get sometimes.
I love him so dirty, by the way.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
It's great.
One thing also that's reminded is most zombie movies, they talk about zombie movies are really about zombies, how people handle themselves under pressure, and then they take somebody who's like total asshole and just fucks everything up, and then it's like yelling and annoying.
Right.
So one thing I really like about zombies is that people seem a little more realistic.
Yeah.
And there's this one dude who did kind of make a movie like that. I forgot his name. He like took the keys and took off, and they're all inside the ring for the boats.
Right,
with the cameras.
right.
But that was still, it seemed like something somebody in the real world might actually
Yeah,
figure out and do.
right. And that was great. Michael goes after the cameras and he knows Harper and throwing cameras and he becomes a hero. And I love the ending when he's holding
Happy
Gabby.
ending. Because they get back with his girlfriend.
They get back together.
Yeah, because I guess the infected don't attack each other. And
They don't really hug.
yeah, and another thing that made this movie completely different than any zombie we've ever seen is that at least the woman on the radio made it sound like there's a possibility of returning back to human
Yeah,
form,
right.
which I don't believe there actually is. I think that's false, but it still made me question even more. Oh, should I be committing violence against these things? There's a chance. You know, like usually when you see a zombie movie, it's like, oh, my loved ones are turning after me, it's hard for me to do anything.
Right.
But now you're more like in a control position where you believe that they actually can be redeemed.
Right.
And so the scene where Michael was in the he made his way to that guy's apartment, he decided, and then the guys started to freak out,
Yeah.
and he picked up the patient,
Yeah.
and the guys like put it down, and that I think more powerful than any other movie made me feel like, made me start thinking about what Jenny turned and who
But the reason why he did that was because he was positioning himself near the window.
Right, I always thought before.
Yeah, I remember that happened. And that guy was actually kind of hero too. Yeah. He was trying to, he was like, okay, I don't want to on his right girlfriend. And wanted to save Michael.
Oh yeah, the thing with Forts too, I thought it was completely ridiculous. It redeemed it a little bit when right after that Michael said, well, if I think that Gabby's dead, then I might as well hang myself. So he's just trying to preserve that she's gonna care about Forts.
One last little shred of hope that things could be normal.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. Absolutely. I loved and I gotta say, the very end when Harper and that girl are in the water. Yeah, in the river.
Oh, I just figured something out. Okay, they're off in the boat and you think they might be safe and they decide that zombies can't swim, right?
They're going to the shipyard.
But when they made that plan, I think the girl said I don't think they can swim.
Yes.
And so when they're going off the boat, you think, okay, maybe they'll make it. But I remember at the very end you see a flash go off. And I'm like, why do that? And then I'm like, oh crap. Maybe they can't swim.
Oh.
I think that's what the idea of that was, right?
Oh, they got cameras there. Okay. They got
that's
cameras
true,
hopefully.
How many times does the camera fly? I can make
Yeah.
those flashes on food batteries or whatever. I did like the whole Rear Window aspect of it.
Yeah, isn't that good?
How like people who probably never talked to each other suddenly are friends. That's like the one sort of positive thing about a disaster. Like 9/11, all the neighbors were friendly to each other for a long time after that.
Yeah.
People suddenly feel togetherness.
Yeah. We were during the 1989 earthquake.
I was in the and we felt it. Yeah, I was in the theater. Everybody came out of the theater because the chandelier swinging on we stopped. And yeah, like even just in there, all of a sudden all looking into each other's eyes.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
They take care of each other. Yeah.
Except for the one guy who steals cameras and tries to go by himself.
He's a jerk.
Yeah. What else? I just love the tone of the movie and pacing. It was very good having these small moments punctuated by action. And I like how a lot was done in just the interactions, like without dialogue, like the Harper and the girl. They struck up a relationship between a couple with almost no words,
Right.
just by their looks to each other.
Yeah.
And that's totally beautiful to me.
Yes, exactly. You know, talking to you, I'm going to have to raise my brain count.
Oh, really?
3 and a half brains.
Okay. And I like the adrenaline thing. It reminded me incredible how it doesn't have to much to get agitated.
Did the Hulk take sodas?
Yeah, I'm sure he has. Yeah, they've done every possible.
Does he also meditate?
Yes.
Okay.
Meditates. But I don't think it's really worked out well.
No, it really didn't.
And like one time where I was like, oh, come on, it was on the radio when they said, it looks like it's adrenaline activated and medium sedative and there's a chance that you need it. I'm like, how did they figure out that in 20 minutes?
Right.
You know, this is just setting up the foundation of the rest of the movie where they has all this.
Right.
Cool. I liked how they did a good job of kind of playing with our expectations. Sometimes, like when he saw the guy hanging across the way,
Yeah.
and then he looked at the hook in his own apartment,
Yes.
you think that he's thinking about hanging himself. He doesn't
Right.
talk about that he might hang himself. And then,
He's at the Rambock.
yeah, it's the Rambock. I don't understand why he's talking about. He was only one scene in.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
it wasn't all that successful, really, because it made a lot of noise. It got through the apartment, but then it struck tree for Harper, and it forced Michael to go to the attic and get all Harper. I mean, it wasn't that successful.
Yeah, that was a rough scene.
Yes,
But
yes.
I don't know. And I wonder if the movie was some kind of commentary on meditation, women take the sedatives.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. But it's really easy for me to put together this podcast and do all work together. But my day job, I'm not so enthusiastic about it, and so it's hard for me to get everything done. So I went and got an evaluation and got a prescription for Adderall for ADD.
Did you really?
Yeah, I didn't even necessarily want it, but he was so free with it. Like he asked me 30 questions and he's like, it was Adderall. And so I'm like,
Okay.
no, I guess I'll try it. But basically, it's amphetamine. Did you know that?
Does that slow kids down to adults?
That's what they say, but I took it for a few days,
And?
it just made me feel actually kind of euphoric. It didn't really work. Like I did feel more focused, I didn't feel any more motivated, it didn't work.
Right.
And then I had this like awful crash, and it felt like crap. And I'm like, hell no, there's something online, people get addicted to it, and they ruin their life for that.
Ah.
And he wants some other Adderall.
I also have to switch off of it, where you can get your
Oh, really. Maybe, yeah. I don't want to like look down on anybody that is ever taking music because looking around the net, I saw a lot of people save their lives, but for me, it didn't really.
Yes, so please keep taking meds. Me too.
But it felt great. Until the crash.
Until the crash.
All right, is that good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, wait, come on to us.
5, 4, 3, 2.
So this week's Dead Top 5, this month's Dead Top 5, is top 5 props that I would steal and generally ask for from set of Walking Dead. I'm not get.
You know that.
And I really thought I tried to think what I really want from the set.
Right.
You want to go first?
Okay, fine, I'll go first. To me, the most iconic thing, Dale's fishing hat. Special and iconic to me.
You right?
Hell yeah, I would. One thing I think fishing is adorable.
Do you fish?
I don't fish, yeah, but I wear fishing hats.
Yes.
Makes
Is
them
it
like,
shady or
yes,
right shady?
exactly. They're adorable, and I think they're adorable. And I love Dale, so I like them much.
That's cool. It has on my list. Can I borrow it?
No.
There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah,
I don't know, yeah, that's
that's me.
several. Okay, what I would take is an expensive camera. There's some really awesome cameras.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess camera set.
Yeah, they're selling.
Oh my god.
I told you, I exactly what I would take.
Loser. Wow.
We don't actually show this pretty
I feel like stealing the kidnapped director or something.
No, I sell the camera. Because the RV is all burned out.
Yeah, the RV is
I'm just trying to think what I
Wow. I'm thinking sentimental homage to my character.
The hat.
Fine. All right, I feel like that's
Okay.
my next is a piece of a zombie.
Oh.
Because you know that they got fake limbs, right? Or maybe in their head. Because
Oh,
they
yeah.
had a zombie, they somehow
Could you say a whole zombie? I mean, like, there's some, there are people.
Oh, that'd be great. I would love to get a fake zombie.
What do you do with it?
Probably put them in the room.
No, you
I would too.
You might have it on the porch.
No, it's I
Somebody would take it,
Should we go to my backyard? My grumpy old neighbor. Well, I have two fantastic neighbors. I have 30 neighbors like me. He put the tree and now she sees us. And so maybe I put the zombie in Jerry's in her window. That'd be good.
That's awesome. Okay, my number 4 is Daryl's crossbow.
Oh.
So you notice that the camera was number 5, and Daryl's crossbow takes precedence over the president's over the game. Because I could totally sell that on eBay for no, just kidding. No, it's not like
I wonder if it's a working muscle or if it's somehow made it so it's safe.
Well, I would guess that unless you load up the crossbow pretty unsafe, then probably don't. But I also guess that it's not because they probably wanted to make it really light. But who knows? Maybe it's
It's pretty badass crossbow. You can put it on the wall in your office. That'd be a nice addition to your office.
Totally.
I would also steal something Daryl's. My number 3 is Daryl's necklace.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that would be the most badass necklace.
Oh my God.
Right?
Wear it?
One time you're on. Yes. Yeah, that would be the best prop ever.
Yeah, okay. My number 3 is Lynn's hat. So I have to
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think I did not put Dale's hat. I don't know. I just don't like those hats that much. But anyways, I also Lynn's one of my favorite
Yeah.
characters. Lynn's hat.
Maybe I just steal Lynn. I'm kidding.
Relax hat.
Right. My number 4 is Rick's sheriff badge. I like it. And it's already morbid.
What do you do with it?
I just know around.
I have a glass head in my bedroom. You know, you see those
Yeah,
glass heads?
yeah.
I put Lynn's hat on the glass head.
Nice.
I
I used to have a glass head.
know it's made of like
Very fragile.
my number 2 is Daryl's motorcycle.
Oh,
It
that's
is
a good
so
one.
cool. I would totally ride around.
That's great. That's great.
I would pick up the SS sticker.
I used to carry around on vacation for a lap.
Yeah, I had a lot of meth.
You don't know who you're
Take my
running.
arrow on here. Dude, it's like kids, it's epidemic in colleges. Like 50% of students take it now.
Really?
Something like
That's
that. Yeah, and they say like you can't go to class unless they're on it.
That's shocking.
And they like they don't have prescriptions. They just people get prescriptions, say what their leftovers and sell out to the kids. And make extra money.
By comparison, everyone's allowed to go to a keg party when I was in college. By comparison, I was such a lightweight, yeah.
You wouldn't believe some of the stuff they're doing there that I can't even say because it's disgusting.
Kids these days.
Earbuds, but not in the normal way. But anyway.
Wow.
Okay, I think we're on number 1.
The micro levels. My other one is I got the idea actually because I saw this thing when I watched an AMC Walking Dead short on props. They have a short on the website on the Professor takes you on a little tour of the Professor area, and they showed a Bowie knife. So this is a Bowie knife that they got. And it's not just a regular Bowie knife. It's a Bowie knife with a head-shaped chunk taken out of it, so that when you lay it on your head, on a head, it looks like it's embedded.
Oh,
Beautifully,
okay.
it's how they do the shots where it's like Bowie knives. It's so cool. It's like
like when Rick acts that one's on the other like that.
exactly. And it's awesome. I really want one.
That's the one. Okay, so my number 1, like I think I'd wear Glenn's hat, grab Daryl's crossbow, have a motorcycle, and go on the back and take off there. I don't like the camera of it. Because it'd be a trailer attached to that bike. She's not a profit.
She's not. She's not.
She's not. That's it.
That's it. Wait, no, that's Rick Sheriff's hat.
Yeah, that was my honorable mention. Carl's hat, like Carl's hat, Herschel's magic shotgun, and my zombie costume.
Michonne's sword might be a fun one.
Oh yeah, totally.
We just talked about that.
Oh yeah,
Very
okay,
cool.
I'm taking off Daryl's crossbow and putting
Michonne's
some
sword,
sword instead. Yeah, I think I'd have that crossbow.
And maybe I would want to go for that zombies.
That's true. Okay, let's do top 5s.
Okay.
The first one is from bigger. 5, the RV. 4, zombie masks. 3, Rick's gun.
Oh, that's a good one.
2, Carl's / Rick's hat. And number 1, Rick's balls. If I made it on the show in the season finale. You don't take those away.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Highly prepared. And this one's Susan. 5, Daryl's crossbow. 4, Daryl's crossbow. 3, Daryl's crossbow. 2, Daryl's crossbow. And 1, T-Dog.
That is ridiculous. Daryl, wait, why would you take Daryl's crossbow 4 times and not take Daryl? I really look at that.
I get it, Susan. I totally
You,
get it.
two minds. Okay, for next time, I thought like I wanted you to choose which one you want to do. First idea is top 5 things that creep you out the most. We've done things that scare us, but things that creep us out are a little different, you know?
Yeah.
And it could be something in general or a specific thing that happened or a combination of both. That's one idea.
Like it.
The other one is, and I think we're going to do both these, which is the same thing we're doing next time. So the other one is that we each come up with the top 5s, but we don't tell each other what they are, and then we tell each other on the podcast next time, and then we have to come up with our top 5 on the spot.
Oh, that's kind of a that's kind of a nice feeling, my friend.
Yeah, and it could be anything you want to do, like top 5 reasons why you're supposed to something like that.
I also like the thought of giving you a top 5 list, top 1 what the list is, and then you have to tell me what the list is. I can say 5 things and you tell me what the list is.
We can try that, but
That's really
yeah, what pick from one of these? Which one of these would you rather do next time?
Second one.
Okay, so you guys, if you want to come up with some top 5, I will try to not read it until we're on the air, and then we'll do yours too.
So I'm going to tell you my top 5
Yeah.
list. My top 5. I'm going to give you a list, and then you come up with my spot. You're going to give me a list, and I'm going to
But do we also need to make our own for the one that we come up with, or not? That means we can make really interesting.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to which one's on the list.
Okay, so first one comes from Jill, and she writes, Jason, do you guys see this Walking Dead versus Nerdist bowling-a-thon? But Master Bowler, from Jill. No, I didn't.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
He bowls?
It's Chris Hardwick and some Nerdist guys versus Robert Kirkman, Glenn, Simeon, Lauren Cohan, and Herschel Scott. Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And Glenn was badass, but totally, humble about it.
Glenn.
Yeah, watch. It was pretty good. Something else I was going to say about that. Oh, I forget what it was.
You know what? Chris Roberts wrote on me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, he's funny too, actually.
Yeah.
He just seems like a sincere guy.
He's actually spontaneously really funny. Dinner Live, when we saw him MC that show across Bay Live, spontaneously funny, really
Yeah, and
great.
just a big guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend John is for some reason I don't haven't seen any episodes of the Talking Dead.
Yeah.
He's funny. Okay, this is from Grace from Florida. So I finally looked at this. Grace is the one, I don't know if you remember, who called in. This is Grace, yeah. Who called in and left this really passionate phone message. Oh, Walking Dead, remember that?
No, I don't.
I should have played a clip of it. Anyway, so I finally looked in the fridge and said, you had to be nice last time everyone was in the There it goes.
Aw.
Dead creepy walker. Shh, don't move, it might smell you. Too late, much.
Don't move, it makes him know you.
That was good. That was really
Maybe not
good.
to know if I hear you.
No, I like it.
Don't move, it makes him know you.
She's like, that's not going enough. You should be able to.
I love everything in Grace.
Keep it up the heads and next for airing on episode 16. I promise I don't always sound like that. I was just overwhelmed by that amazing finale. My zombie sound.
Nicely interpreted. That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Grace. Grace. This one comes from Jarrell. Hi, Jesse. Welcome to the first I know that this may be off topic, but I always wanted to know what your favorite non-zombie horror films. I decided that I want to know what films in the Necronomicon series are your favorites, and I want to know your least favorite series. Scale your favorites and least favorites. Here are the films. Okay, I'm going to tell you on scale 1 to 10. I'll tell you what
Wait, is that what you're doing?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought you said favorites and least favorites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh,
Yeah, see, I'm gonna tell you
So you have it. You haven't seen it.
Okay, I'm gonna read you. Nightmare on Elm Street 1984.
I say, I have big memory of these, but I'll say 8.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge.
5.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Green Warriors.
9.
Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master.
I don't remember the next 2 very well. I think I'll give it 7.
Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child.
7.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
Freddy's Dead, Final Nightmare.
That was like a 3.
Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
That was a solid 8.
Freddy vs. Jason.
That one was really bad, but I loved it anyway. I'm giving it an 8.
Nightmare on Elm Street
I
2010.
didn't see that one. It sucked.
I haven't seen it, so NA.
Okay.
Thanks, Joel. I'll continue as a resident of Poeta County in Georgia. I'll give you guys a heads up on Walking Dead. This guy just taking another Walking Dead cast. That's
Oh, yeah,
great.
yeah, so I wonder if you're in Sonoma with filming, or either way, I let us know if you find anything cool.
Yeah.
By the way, I really loved Dream Warriors. That's my favorite. That's where Freddy smashes this girl's face into TV and says, "Welcome to Prime Time, bitch." Which is nice.
Wow, I can see why you
Yeah,
loved
of course. Okay,
Yeah, I want to.
this one is from our good friend Jaden. He just sent this tweet that was, I guess, on his Tumblr check offensive, and the tweet said, "First word I want to teach my kids is brains. Then until he or she learns another word, I'll have to use a long
Oh, totally. So,
Well, he says nonsense words.
can you brains?
I'll try.
Go, brains,
He says
brains.
dot, dot, dot.
Oh, he's a journalist.
Give me what's this?
This one's from Victor. Hey there, Zed, how's it going? Zombie Victor. Saw me on enjoyed it. It was good. The girl went back for was a bitch, though. Also enjoyed Playing Pool very much. Son, there's a zombie infected film, Devil's Playground on Netflix. It was good.
Do you really go back for the bitch?
No, at first I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be fine. I don't think she was infected. She's got a big kind of arm. I think she was just scared. It's a zombie man.
Well, I think he thinks she's a bitch because she was with another guy. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's fine. And she actually was obviously happy to see him. He didn't see the his arm until
She was very happy to see him, and then they gave him his the medicine.
Yeah, I thought she acted in a really weird way. And she lost interest. And he's stingy.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Sweet. Zombies in love.
Okay, this is from Noob who wrote this on our Facebook page, so I don't know if he will realize it would be a surprise. It says, "Random thought about Walking Dead. I can't wait till season 2 comes out. I've been watching the first 2 seasons back to back. That's my theory about the show seeming to move so slowly in the first half of the second season. The highest speed in the first and second season was so long, while the storyline itself was much shorter. On Creepcast podcast, one of the folks estimated that from the beginning of season 1 to the end of season 2 only 3 weeks in real time. If one were to watch all the episodes back to back on like Kingdom, I'm the only one who perceives the show as moving so slowly. That's not to say the first half of season 2 was not slower than the second half, but when you take the entire show and all making episodes in context, you get a more compressed time frame. In other words, it only seems like it took forever to resolve the missing status of Sophia. In reality, you know, maybe a week or less. I think that's really interesting. I'd like to do the same thing. I think the extra on the first season 2 doing marathon on a row.
Lots of times.
Yeah, but I'll just be there after. One thing they said in this Nerdist Writers panel with Walking Dead writers that I thought was really interesting is I mean, the way that they do their writing is a little different in most shows. They sit together and talk out how the first few 6 episodes of the season are going to go, and then on most shows they'll write them maybe not one at a time. They try to not that they do one or two at a time. But on the show they say all writers off all episodes at the same time.
Oh, that's
It's interesting. And
Wow.
the bad part about that is a lot of them hit on the same things,
Oh,
like the same beats. You know, and that's why when we were watching the show we saw Dale and Shane fight the same fight over again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so the same thing over again.
That's why. So they said they did the same thing. They did the same way for season 3, but I think they're going to try to make sure the same beats don't get repeated. So like they're going to pay attention to that. And hopefully, you know, they'll real scripts and say, okay, this is the same thing or something like that.
That's interesting. Anyway, the choice how to do it.
But we saw that result. I mean, I think maybe in other ways it's beneficial. That was one of the
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think that's how we chose to do it. This one is from Susan, also on our Facebook page. People are taking Zed to a whole level, magazine on their back lows. Zombie Nation specializes in preparation supplies for the coming zombie apocalypse. Actually, people sitting around with their gun in their hand, like getting off in anticipation of the time you go Tallahassee on your former friends, family, and coworkers. While some of us may edit similar thoughts, however briefly, there are people waiting for it to happen. Makes me want to repeat my own plan. Said it 1,000 times. I will say it again. People scaring more than zombies. Amen, sister.
It's interesting to me doing this podcast that I didn't think about this before, but we get a lot of email from people who are obviously into the whole weapons and military and stuff like that. And I can see how people who love zombie flicks might be and survivalists.
Right,
you know?
right.
So I mean, I'm not into that, but as long as it doesn't lead people hurting each other and having each other.
Right.
In fact, I do kind of get that because when I was a little kid, I used to like look through like magazines where they show nunchucks and throwing stars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, I get that stuff. Swords.
Little kids love stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's what
Little kids
we'll
do. They'll probably see into the Walking Dead escape.
I don't know.
Yes, we will.
Okay, that's all the email. Let's move on to news from
It's been a quiet week in Zombie Gone. In fact, most of the zombie news has been dominated by something that I hadn't seen before. It turns out it's actually not zombie related. It's you ever heard of Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC? Well, one of the guy with the matches last week or two was Chen Sung Jung. I think he's the Korean zombie, and the Korean zombie is all over the news. So when I was looking for news, it was all about the Korean zombie. Pretty funny.
That UFC, by the way, is at least I would dislike this. It started out where they wanted to have basically cage fighting with no rules or very few rules. So the fight is over when one person goes unconscious or tapped out and says they can't have enough.
Wow.
And you use any style of fighting you want. So they started out there with guys with all like kung fu, whether kung fu guy and a karate guy or whatever, boxers. But it turns out that the grapplers did the best. So if they can get enough to grapple like a wrestling club, you can't do anything, and then take your finger and bend it back.
Ooh, yeah, that makes sense. Wow. The women did that.
Well, the only time I've ever seen a whole match was when I was in my different house and there were women nice to do it.
Wow.
I don't know, you know, but why is it called the zombie anyways?
Why is it Korean zombie?
Yeah, and the lights before that.
Excuse me. I don't know. I never know what Korean zombie called Korean zombie. That actually be interesting. Because all the news apparently recently, so news all about Korean zombie, which is not actually about zombies. But it's
As far as we know.
I did find though. That's our title. Simon Pegg, George Romero, for Korean zombies. Simon Pegg, co-writer and star of Shaun of the Dead. Surprise Hero Complex Film Festival attendee Friday night during director Edgar Wright on stage. This is I think last Friday night. Wright also talked about the origins of Shaun of the Dead. Wright and Pegg decided to make zombie film after shooting a zombie-themed episode of Space to their 1999 2000 TV series, which we talked about and wanted to see, but I don't think you haven't seen it. Oh, that's right.
I haven't seen the
I need to see it.
I didn't see the zombie. No, I didn't see
Which in turn was inspired by Resident Evil Village, Wright said. But Wright said the idea for Sean's slow response to zombie crisis around him was inspired by Wright's own slack response to the 2001 foot-mouth disease outbreak in Britain. It was a big deal, and I can't remember what I was doing, but I had been busy or just not caught my own problem. And then the first thing I saw was about it with the TV footage of Kyle being burned, Wright said. And I was just watching the news going, wait, what is this? So it's kind of the expression of Sean. He's the last person to see CNN and see that. What's going on? Basically, he's going to die. And the section of Shaun of the Dead was John Lennis's American Werewolf in London, Wright said. I always loved that it was really scary, really gory, but also sweet natured, Wright said. And you really cared about characters and you really didn't want anyone to die, which was an important thing. That was the thing we all wanted to do with Sean. Pegg and Wright talked about zombie plays in pop culture and voice preference for classics, zombies of the dead, and sprinters in Snyder's Dawn, and Danny Welch 20 years later. Pegg said he shared the sentiment with World War Z writer Max Brooks. Brad Pitt, starring film adaptation of the book will include fast zombies, but compared fast zombies to a bullet and slow moving zombies to a tumor. A tumor, Pegg said, is more scary than a bullet. That's the slow zombie. That's what makes them so beloved. Is the weird eerie netness they have. It makes them sad, it makes them tragic, it makes you feel sorry for them. In the Living Dead, George Romero films, you root for them sometimes. We like the slow zombies because they're like lava. Right, added. There's your obsession with Romero's work, they said, and how the bond, how the foreign bond is like to working relationship for years. George Romero should always be given proper respect for starting the whole thing, which I don't think he always is, Wright said. Some don't see us being like vampires or werewolves. They're not. George came up with this in 1968. Zombies existed in a sort of voodoo way, but he combined it with cannibal and mixed a little communicability, and you got him on zombie. That was George's idea. Really, George needs to be canonized for what he did. So he's saying some things that should be sainted.
Yeah, I like that, the whole explanation of the slow zombies and reference for it.
Yeah,
It's good.
love it.
I mean, personally, I'm glad there's both. You know, I like Dawn of the Dead was great and when he gets there, but
They're like fast like a bullet and they're like tumor.
yeah, and I feel like they're inept and tragic.
Yeah, kind of sad. So that's just like all the dead, all the children are brain eating freaks.
That's our show, episode 65. Thanks for listening,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
I want to thank, I mean, again, thank Jason Taylor, who's been doing the news for us.
He's a rock star.
Yeah, he's doing awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate
Love
it.
you, Jessica.
I want to mention that since Nico and my wife have been away for a week, I've been playing a lot of Diablo 3, which is came out recently. It's been a real luxury. And it's kind of one of those games that doesn't have, it's not very complicated, but it's very moody and dark, and there's a lot of zombies in it, so it's, I feel really good.
Oh, yeah,
I can go and play with friends online, so like, I can play with my friend here in San Diego and Chad, and we can all be killing zombies together.
Aw, we love that stuff.
So cool.
When's you going to
Sunday.
Yay.
Yeah, and I'm going to do Diablo 3 and Adderall.
Aw.
Ruined big dark circles in my eyes. Next time, when we're recording something, and I thought you guys watched that African zombie movie.
Yeah.
It's not on Netflix, but you can rent or buy it on iTunes, and you can buy it maybe also rent it on Amazon.com.
Great.
So if you want to watch it with us, you're going to have to pay $3 or whatever. So hopefully that'll be it's supposed to be a good movie, so hopefully it'll be good. And we'll have that next time. We'll also have our Day Cast 5 where Karen and I bring our surprise. Day Cast 5 on each other. And might really reveal it to find out some parents' secrets.
Yeah, right. And, okay, I will. It's like
Yeah,
there.
it's like 5 parts.
And another thing we're going to talk about next time
Is
the season premiere of True Blood, which is premiering on Sunday, June 10th. So if you're a True Blood fan, watch that, and then we'll chat about it a little bit on next podcast.
Definitely. Meanwhile, if you'd like to leave us a message, you can call us at 650-45-DAD, 650-45-3333.
You can email us at brains@podcast.com.
Check out our website in comments at walkingdeadcast.com.
And we're also on Twitter, Jason Karen, and on Facebook at facebook.com/daycast.
Okay, that's our show.
Thanks for listening. Don't get bit.